Big breaking update that is now coming in right after the ongoing investigation by the Enforcement Directorate that is being carried out in Liquorgate. We are told that another of his mantri has been summoned. This is the Delhi Transport Minister Kailash Gahlot, who has now been summoned in Liquorgate case, and he was part of the GOM that made the draft policy. And this was the very same draft policy, the information that was leaked to the South Group. It is now ED which will be quizzing the Delhi Transport Mantri next. What could be the possible other reasons there that is being cited, because there have been several mantris who have been questioned. Let me go across to Bhavtosh now for this latest update. Bhavtosh, one after the other, we are told that several top Aam Aadmi Party netas are being questioned in Liquorgate. Kailash Gahlot has now been summoned.
Yes, this is the first time that Kailash Gahlot will be summoned in the alleged excise scam, and he has been questioned also for the first time. One has to wait and see whether he will be joining the investigation, and this is happening at a time when Arvind Kejriwal is already in the custody of the Enforcement Directorate. Now, broadly, if we go by the documents that have been submitted by the Enforcement Directorate in the court, there are under three issues. Kailash Gahlot is under the scanner. Primarily, his residence, his official residence, was used by the Vijay Nair, and Vijay Nair was staying in the official residence of Kailash Gahlot, which ED pointed out was illegal. The second charge was that he was part of the group of ministers that drafted the excise policy. Now, the draft excise policy was actually leaked to the South Group, and then South Group, in fact, told them the changes that should be made, and these changes were later incorporated once the excise policy was made public. The third charge against Kailash Gahlot was that as part of the group of ministers, he, in fact, was in fact told to make certain changes in the formulation of the excise policy. Now, Satyendra Jain was already questioned by the Enforcement Directorate in the custody. Manish Sisodia was questioned and arrested by the Enforcement Directorate. And it could be possible that if and when Kailash Gahlot joins the investigation today, he could be confronted with Arvind Kejriwal. Now, there is no official word from either Kailash Gahlot or, for that matter, from Aam Aadmi Party. So the big development taking place in the illicit excise scam on a day when Arvind Kejriwal is already being questioned in the case, and Kailash Gahlot has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate.
Right, but are we looking at any of these, any mention of Kailash Gahlot anywhere? Because even when it comes to the group of ministers, which actually comprised of Sisodia, Satyendra Jain and Kailash Gahlot, which is apparently the statement that was also given by C. Arvind to the Enforcement Directorate when the formulation of this liquor policy happened back in 2021, Bhavtosh. But has Kailash Gahlot been mentioned anywhere before by the ED?
Well, he is not an accused. He has not been questioned even once in past 19 months. But this would be the first time that he has been summoned, and he has been asked to join the investigation. But yes, in the charge sheets, his role, at least his name is mentioned by the Enforcement Directorate. At least in three categories, his name has been mentioned. One, that his official residence was used by Vijay Nair, and this was illegal, and that this should not have been done. At that point of time, Enforcement Directorate has said that CBI should look into this matter. Other place where his role has been mentioned.
All right, please to stay on with us, Bhavtosh. Nalan Kohli of the BJP is with us, sir. Good morning to you. This is a big development that is now taking place. Another AAP Mantri has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate. This time it is Kailash Gahlot.
No surprise. Mr. Kejriwal is the Chief Minister. He's running the government. On his instructions, the government will run. When two of his very important ministers like Mr. Manish Sisodia and Mr. Satyendra Jain were involved in it and have been in custody for a fairly long period, not getting bail, because there is obviously some evidence that the courts are seeing. Now, Mr. Kejriwal has been evasive. Through the interrogations and the investigation, it is obvious that somewhere or the other people may have knowledge or may indicate towards what is there. So the Enforcement Directorate or any agency would have the right to call somebody either as a witness or as a preliminary looking at it as an accused. Now, I don't know in what context Mr. Kailash Gahlot is called, but he is considered one of the important players in the Delhi government. So those who are important players worked closely with Mr. Kejriwal in a policy that involves the whole government of Delhi. Then obviously the Enforcement Directorate, if it's getting any leads, will call the concerned people.
But Mr. Kohli, Mr. Kejriwal, who was allowed to speak in court and to defend himself, he, in his defense, has been saying that He doesn't know all of the mantris who were coming to his residence, as there were so many of them coming, and if there was any khusar-phusar or any file exchange that was happening, it was not done in his knowledge, sir. So it seems in a way that he's not in a way supporting his own mantris as well, who are now in jail.
Kejriwal, who first took the resignations of every minister who resigned, himself is choosing to be in power and hang on to it. Second, in his statement, which he's giving, that I'm not aware what's happening, it shows he's an inept and a useless chief minister. He has no idea how his government is running. That's what he's doing. He's giving a certification of incompetence on himself. Now, he's the best person to know, so he has to make up his mind. Either he has to tell the world that I'm an incompetent chief minister. I had no idea what my ministers were doing. They were running it like fiefdoms, and therefore I'm putting them responsible for everything, and the police and the Enforcement Directorate must take full action against them. So either that has to be his stand, or the other stand will be that I am the person who gave the instructions. Right. I have done no wrong, but it's for the agency to prove that I've done wrong. You can't have both.
Right, sir. Thank you very much, Mr. Kohli, for joining in. That's the BJP reaction coming in. Let's also get in a word from Mr. Udit Raj of the Congress Party. Sir, good morning to you. Another mantri has been summoned by the ED, sir, Kailash Gahlot.
If Kailash Gahlot joins the BJP today, the summon will be scrapped. And a couple of days back, what happened in case of Praful Patel, he has been discharged of all charges. And not only one case, there are a number of the cases. Either cases have been diluted or cases have been closed. And in case of Chhagan Bhujbal also, the file in ED office is missing. So what happened is that all opposition is being targeted, be it seizing the account of Congress Party or arrest of Kejriwal or widespread raids by ED, CBI, income tax all over the country and giving notice to Congress Party and raising high demands.
Right, sir.
This is a murder of democracy, that's all.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Udit Raj, calling it murder of democracy. But in the meantime, let's get you the investigative bit. Priyank is with us right now. Priyank, another mantri has been also summoned. Now we also talk about the details, because who exactly is Kailash Gahlot? He's a minister in Kejriwal cabinet, part of the GM or the group of ministers that drafted the policy. And this was, according to details in the investigative reports, the draft policy, same one that was leaked to the South group. Now, according to the ED, Kailash Gahlot has changed his phone numbers too, and he's an MLA from Najafgarh. So Priyank, help us understand as far as the role that was played by Kailash Gahlot, and now in what connection and what context has he been summoned?
Yes, Amita, the GM, which was formed by the Delhi government, which was responsible for formulation of this excise policy 2020 and 2021, has been under the radar, which has led to the arrest of Delhi Chief Minister, who is right behind us. He is being questioned in this Enforcement Directorate headquarters here in the national capital. On the other side, we have seen that the manner in which their questions have also been raised on other ministers who were there in the cabinet GM of the Delhi government, which has also led to the arrest of the former minister Manish Sisodiya, the arrest of former minister Mr. Satyenjan. Both of them have been inside prison. But now Kailash Gahlot being called in by the Enforcement Directorate, and what we are also getting to know that there has been a clear-cut instruction. There was evidence where the mobile phones of Kailash Gahlot were also changed, similar in the pattern which was also changed by Manish Sisodiya. 12 mobile phones were changed by Manish Sisodiya. This is what the Enforcement Directorate prosecution complaint had been stating. But what we are getting through sources that Kailash Gahlot will also towing up the same line which was said by the party treasurer Andy Gupta, that if you're talking about the Goa election, the money to be spent in the Goa election, which is alleged to be 45 crore, which was proceeds of the crime of the bribe amount which was allegedly given to the party, this could have only happened on the behest of the party head, which was Arvind Kejriwal, and the state head, which was Atishi Marlena. So that is the clear point which we are getting to know, that would be the clear submission by Kailash Gahlot whenever he'll be questioned. We are expecting that within an hour's time he is expected to reach at this ED office where he will be questioned in detail. But the legal team of Aam Aadmi Party has made it very clear, which was also quite visible in the ED's remand note, in the point number 5.25 and section, clause 1 of that. It was clearly mentioned by the party treasurer that the national convener of the party and the state head of the party were only a person who were aware about the spending pattern of the party, which is raising a very big question. Right. There was a story which was circulated by the Aam Aadmi Party that Dilip, who was questioned by the Enforcement Directorate, was the state head, which is certainly not true. So Kailash Gahlot, whenever he'll come here, he'll straight away push the onus towards other member. And it is also towing up the same line, Amita, which was taken by Arvind Kejriwal, where he said that there have been several meetings which happened inside my house. Many ministers, secretary do come in, they exchange paper, and I was not aware about it. So in a manner, the bonhomie, the closeness of the Aam Aadmi Party, which was visible at the initial stage, the manner in which Manish Sisodiya came to the ED office, and there was a huge crowd which also followed him, and Delhi police had to face a tough challenge to stop him, which is certainly diminishing. We have not seen that kind of massive protest coming out from the party cadres of Aam Aadmi Party. But tomorrow is going to be another big day.
On a daily basis that we are looking at press briefings that have been taking place, massive protests that are taking out. Of course, tomorrow being the Ramlila Maidan show of strength that will be taking place. But right now, the biggest update that is first playing right here on Times Now. According to reports, we are told that Kailash Gahlot too has been summoned by the Enforcement Directorate in the manner in the investigation taking place by the Enforcement Directorate.